This is Spare Parts, your show for all things motorsports. With your hosts, Stephen Cleary, Sean Cavarella, and Taylor Moore.
Hear that music?
Welcome to Spare Parts. I'm your host, Taylor.
I'm Sean?
I'm Steven. We didn't discuss this.
No, we didn't. This is weird.
So I guess
so unnatural.
Because I wanted to say I'm Steven, because that's always what's second, but no. So...
Well, I guess I could have said I'm your host, Sean, but...
Yeah, that wouldn't have gone over well. No.
Would have gone over well, you know.
Sean could be female.
I mean...
That's true. Sean could be female.
Give me enough drinks,
Everything
I
is...
vote for you, Steven.
There you go.
Exactly.
Oh my...
No? No? I'll put a wig on.
Oh my gosh.
So, speaking of good times, Taylor, you had a
I'm
fun
back.
time this weekend.
I did. I had a fantastic time. It was... Oh man, like...
That's your first Grand Prix, right?
Yes. So I look back at it and like a lot happened this weekend. Like it was one of those weekends where if anything, like you got kind of everything that you would want in a race weekend. You got rain for quali to make things interesting. Wasn't fantabulous to stand in the rain for like a whole day, but it was fine. We got there. And then you had a really sunny race day and a really close battle at the finish, which was really cool.
It was a pretty decent race.
But in terms of, yeah, it was a good race overall. But in terms of the weekend as a whole, it was a great experience. I met Will Buxton.
Oh, really?
Yes, I met him the Thursday night. I went. I have a lot of friends that were marshalling that weekend from the track from Mosport.
I mean, because
we
Peter
went,
was doing it, right? So.
Yeah, so Peter was marshalling that, and so was a few of his friends. But
What corner was he
we
in
went
again?
drinking with the marshals. He was at corner 2 on Sunday.
Did he do anything?
Oh yeah, no, he responded to Yuki's crash.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
he actually like touched Yuki Tsunoda. So that was his little like geek moment.
So he's not washing his one hand now. Okay, got it.
Yeah, never again. He did say Yuki was very quiet. Obviously did not want to talk. I mean, nobody wants to talk after they just crashed the car.
Especially out of the pit lane.
Yeah, but we were all drinking on Thursday night, and Will Buxton was at the pub that we were at. So, yeah, on his way out, he stopped and met everybody, and I have a picture with him. It was fantastic. I geeked out very hard. I love Will Buxton, so...
You see, she geeked out because she met Will Buxton. You know, 'cause,
Yep.
like
She met someone on TV.
which means
It was
she geeked
cool,
out.
and I
No, we're making
gave
fun of
him
we're making fun of him, not you.
I know, but it was cool, and he's awesome. He's very humble. Anyway, okay. But anyways, overall,
10 seconds passes.
the experience as a whole, very cool. It's a great atmosphere to be in. They did a lot of, like the atmosphere itself around the track was really awesome. They had great food options. The fan zone was really awesome. The only thing that kind of sucked a lot was on the Saturday, they were going to have a driver's autograph session. We stood in line for about like an hour and a half in the rain for it just to be canceled.
Ooh, well,
So that was
that's
like...
always tough when that happens.
That was a little painful. I know that it had to logistics-wise, like they didn't really have a choice, and we all ended up getting like signed cards for whatever driver we wanted at the end, which was like nice.
Who'd you get?
Um,
Let me guess.
Leclerc,
Let me
of
guess.
course.
Yeah, okay, I was gonna say Leclerc. Yeah, 100%.
Leclerc, of course. My wristband was for Williams, but I got a Leclerc card. So
Nice.
I was like totally 10 out of 10 gonna get Latifi's signature on my program, my expensive program, but you know,
I mean, yeah,
it is what it is.
That probably, but I think you'll be able to see him in the future, probably, you know, at like an IndyCar race.
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm assuming.
But yeah, overall, really great. 10 out of 10 would recommend going to the Canadian GP.
How are your
It's really
seats?
fun. So we had general admission tickets. because the marshals all get a couple, so we got 2 from Peter for the Friday and Saturday, and on the Sunday we had grandstand seats in grandstand 47, which is right by turn 10.
Sure.
Turn 10, right after the hairpin, maybe turn.
So like
11,
the little kink onto the straight.
Yes. No, a little bit before that. A little bit before that. Yeah, it's a long kind of. It's right where the DRS zone started.
Okay, so you're just after that. Okay.
Yeah. So in between the hairpin and the little kink before the straightaway. But yeah, so it was really cool. We had great seats because we were right at the front of the actual grandstand, so we didn't have like an obstructed view from anybody. And it was really cool because like the cars were a lot closer to you. So, and we had a good vantage point for the drivers' parade on Sunday. So
Nice.
got to wave at the mall. I didn't boo like everybody else did when Lewis Hamilton went by.
Wait, everyone booed when Lewis went by?
So, yep.
Really?
And when Max went by, a lot of boos for both of them.
And
a lot of cheering for both Ferrari drivers.
That I would, because we talked about
Yeah,
that last
it was
week,
kind of
right?
like one of those like I'm really surprised. Yeah. So that was kind of interesting. I booed for Max because I really don't like Max, but I did not boo for Hamilton. So, but overall,
Steven, she
10 out of 10.
showed restraint.
I'm shocked.
I know, me too. Is this
um,
the new Taylor?
and at the end of the race, maybe at the end of the race, everybody like they let the fans walk the track, which I'm sure you guys know.
Did you steal a DRS?
But it was really weird. No, but we saw 2 guys stealing the DRS sign, and I'm looking at them like, there's no way you're getting this out of the track. Like, they're gonna confiscate this as security. And then, but they was just like, they were so aggressive about it because, and apparently, like, the marshals have to, like, put a ring around all their stuff because people like to steal it.
Oh.
And I'm like, oh yeah, like, it's like a total nightmare for them. Like, on the back end of it, like, it's a total nightmare for when the fans just decide to, like, go, like, ham and just, like, whatever. But you know what? It was cool. Walked a bit of the track, so that was nice. But we went through an opening that was like part of like a break in the gate. We weren't jumping over the grandstand and like falling out of the sky like other people were. So, yeah, would recommend if you guys can go next year, go next year.
Yeah, let me just cut off an arm and a leg and, sell my organs while I'm at it.
They weren't that hold on. They weren't that expensive. The tickets we had in 47 were not that bad.
Didn't you just say you got, like, free general admission for the Friday and Saturday?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's free.
Okay, so like
less cost.
GAs.
And, like, okay, general admission itself is relatively expensive for that.
It is relatively expensive. Like the 3-day one is pretty expensive. But you know what? Let me know if you're interested and I'll get some favors.
Okay, obviously. Yeah, we'll talk about that for next year, but getting there. I think that'd be fun for all of us.
It would be fun.
But yes, so
that's my recap.
From your seats, the last 10 laps of Carlos chasing down Verstappen, could you tell every single time he wasn't going to get it?
Yes. I was like, he's too far. There's like, you could just tell that there was he just he wasn't within the time frame to actually like make a move on him. Because you could just tell, and especially like when you could see when the DRS flap went up, and like when he could take off, he wasn't close enough, and you could tell every single time he wasn't close enough to actually take him.
Yeah, it really seemed at the end of that race that Max's true advantage was in the second sector.
Mm-hmm.
And his exit out of the hairpin.
Yeah.
He got a great exit every single time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's cool to know that you could actually see it from there. Yeah, on TV, every time I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, he's way too far back.
Yep.
Way too far.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it was like you could just kind of clearly see it. But no, it was really cool. But you could definitely tell that Max was just having a really great weekend. It is what it is. As much as I wanted or wished that Carlos would have gotten it as a Ferrari fan, like you could just tell that Max had it in the bag.
Yeah, I think if Carlos would have gotten it, Montreal would have kind of lost its shit because, again, a lot of Ferrari fans, right? Like you said.
There actually were a lot, in terms of how many fans there were, like there were a lot more Red Bull fans that I saw than Ferrari fans.
Really? But they booed Max.
Yes. Yes. Well, maybe in the section I was sitting in, there was a lot more like there was a lot of McLaren fans.
Boo.
I would say like I would divide if I could put like rank the fans by each team. I would say Red Bull's number 1, McLaren is a close second, and then Ferrari would be third.
Interesting. Okay, I wouldn't have guessed that, to be honest. I would have thought Ferrari would be higher.
I think like there were a lot of Checo fans there, like a lot of Checo fans.
That's fair.
Yeah, everything Checo was sold out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, from your whole time there, what was your favorite part of the entire weekend?
I think my favorite part was probably Sunday, because like it's just a different vantage point when you're actually in a grandstand. Like I would honestly, for all of our listeners, if you're gonna go, buy grandstands for the Sunday. Like don't do the general admission, or you have to get there at like 8 in the morning to get your seat with like GA, because you're just like taking a lawn chair and like hoping for the best, right? But it gets very doggy dog, and like you're always surrounded by people. But it's really like the general admission is really great for Friday, Saturday, because there's really not much going on, and quali's only an hour, so standing is not that bad, or like sitting wherever you can is not that bad. But I would say like Sunday for sure was my favorite part, only because you just get to see so much, and like the support series were great.
I was going to ask you
it was
about that,
interesting. Yeah. Oh, the Ferrari challenge was an absolute crapshoot. Like there was crashes.
It's a bunch of rich guys driving their Ferraris around. What do you expect?
It was really funny because it was like constant yellows. Just constantly. The Sentras were pretty much the same. And the 1600s are really cool. I really like the 1600 series. They come to Mosport quite a bit, and they're always a fun time. So that was really good to see. A few crashes during that one as well. But yeah, like honestly, the Sunday is just a really great day. Like it's a shorter day, but it's honestly just like a lot of good racing and good stuff. And then you get to see the drivers' parade, which is cool. So I would say the whole of Sunday was really awesome.
Okay, nice. And yeah, if you're going to any event, grandstand tickets are almost always worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like anything that's like a 24-hour race or something like that. Then maybe not. But yeah, grandstand for any other kind of like afternoon race, always a must.
Yeah, but like again, like it's all like to me, I think it's only worth it to just like pay the money for the Sunday. And like right now, like unless you want to get 3 days, like get 3 days. Like all the other grandstands other than the one we were sitting in, which didn't have a view of the TV, were like only 3 days. So that was like the only grandstand that you could get single day tickets for.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of like a personal preference, but like for Friday, like I just don't really see it as like worth it, because like there's really not much going on that actually makes a difference in the race.
See, so and that's a difference that I have for always like the Indy race in Toronto. The Friday is my favorite day.
The Fan Friday?
Yeah, you can just explore everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you don't get that. You don't get that luxury in F1. You're still locked in. I feel like more F1 venues should do that. Have the Friday either be open, like just general admission, get in and go wherever on the day. Because who wants to sit in a grandstand just to watch practice? Explore the ground, see the stuff, see what the sponsors have set up in their various booths. Because that's always a thing at all the races, right? There's always some kind of marketing or something. Yeah, if you're going to be stuck in your seats, have someone else fill it if they're going somewhere else, right? So.
Yeah, and I think they do open it up, but they open it up on the Thursday, which they have like a pit lane walk or whatever that you can do. which I think is free, but it's just like there's so like I think they actually had to like cancel it or something because there was just so much demand for it. And it was also raining a lot.
Yeah, I saw they had too much people.
On
the
Thursday,
massive storms came through too.
yeah. So I think F1 could do something like that, but it makes it, I think it's just more difficult for them because it's just such a big race and such a big event. Like there was, I think, 368,000 people there.
Yeah.
Just on Sunday alone. So like there was just like people just everywhere. It was so busy. But it was still really fun. So yeah, would do again. It's a great experience.
Good. Now, do you want to talk about the race itself?
Yes.
Probably should.
Steven, you haven't talked a whole lot. What'd you think of the race?
It's good to see Canada back, but it was okay.
Just okay?
Right? Yeah. It was an exciting ending. Kept it close. I don't know. It wasn't... I don't think there was a whole lot in the middle, right? But I don't know. Maybe you have different thoughts
Oh, no.
based on your reaction.
This race, to me, this is my personal opinion based on everything that happened, and I'll explain why. But total disappointment for me.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
I thought you'd be going...
Here we go.
No. Not for the race, but for the results. Because FP1, FP2, FP3, Aston Martin is up there. They are looking great.
You need to stop this.
But, okay, I had two teams who I bet on for, like, in the points finish. Both cars. It was AlphaTauri and Aston Martin. Because they looked so good in practice 1, 2, and 3. Qualifying comes, they both shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, their pace disappeared with the sun.
Yeah, apparently they fucked up their tire pressures.
Yeah.
So they overcooked the tires, and they were too hot, and then they never had any pace. So both teams did that, and I'm like, of course, both teams that I want to do well. So shot in the foot, fucking great. So that pissed me off. And the race itself, honestly, the race is okay. I was happy to see kind of Alonso up front for the good part of it, but then he kind of slowly fell back at the end.
Well, he had an engine problem, right?
Yeah,
that was
he did, yeah.
Post-mortem.
Yeah.
Also, one pit stop, like really slow pit stop when they double stacked them, wasn't great for him.
You want to talk about a slow pit stop? I want to introduce you to McLaren.
Oh, they had such a terrible weekend for pit stops. It was embarrassing.
McLaren
actually,
had
like a
terrible
lot
race.
of teams had, a lot of teams actually had slow pit stops this race that I noticed. Like there was a lot of teams other than Red Bull, obviously, who seems to have like the most consistent pit team in the world.
Obviously. But yeah.
Yeah, everybody kind of struggled with pit stops this weekend.
Yeah. And I think it was also fun with the race being a two-stopper, which going in, they didn't expect that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just made strategy a little more variable. But you also had Stroll pulling off the one-stopper to get into the points from the back, which I thought was actually a decent drive. Again, you know, starting the far teens, finishing the points. The Montreal Classic.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I think, what was it? He, like, almost always, or at the last, 3 races now, he started in the bottom 4 and worked his way into either 9th or now 10th.
He's got pace. He always has race pace.
Mm-hmm.
Just can't fucking qualify for shit.
No. Well, and if we're talking about people who are fighting their way from the back...
Who was that, Taylor? Who are you referencing?
Leclerc had a great drive.
I mean, he needed it, and so did Ferrari, considering Perez went poof.
Yes, they did. But it was really great to see, he just had a great drive, and good for him. Like, I know that it wasn't necessarily, quali for him was disappointing, and it wasn't the, obviously the weekend that he would have wanted before the race, but good for him that, he ended up 5th, which is amazing. So, yeah, I was really impressed. Obviously I would have wanted him to finish, on a podium, but, that's just there are some things that are just outside the realm of possibility, and I think that was one of them. But I was happy with 5th.
Yeah, that was a really good drive by Leclerc. Was he driver of the day? Do you recall?
Yes,
he was.
Okay.
Well,
No, we're not.
Once they removed the 30%.
Okay, we're not going into that conspiracy theory.
Oh, come on, it's true.
I do not believe it. Nope, fake news.
Okay, whatever. I'm just saying that a lot of people would have. Okay, whatever. We're not going to go into the conspiracy theory.
Into the Latifi one? Yeah, no. We can talk about Latifi in a bit if you want, but not right now. One team that looked very promising coming out of qualifying, whose race quickly went to shit. Haas.
Oh.
Yep.
Both cars, the only 2 cars, I think, that were in the top 10 for Q3.
What, for the first time all season?
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
And like
Unless it was them and
Mick
Red
was yes.
Maybe.
But you know, Mick's family was there this weekend.
Oh really? His dad was there?
Okay. Okay, we're not making these jokes.
Okay, fine. But yes,
that's a terrible joke.
His family was there, and it was really good to see him and his mom after he did, what was he, 6th?
Yes, in qualifying, yes.
Yeah, after basically being told, or the internet seemed to be wanting Mick out of that seat for some reason.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, that was...
We're turning on a, 21-year-old driver?
Yeah. That apparently shouldn't be an F1 at this point because he's crashed 2 cars.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So...
Okay, sure.
Really good weekend for Mick in terms of, I guess, confidence building. Because, yeah, I think he needed that qualifying performance.
Absolutely. It just sucked the way the race ended for him.
Yeah, just kind of a quick little puff and he's out. That's unfortunate. Though it wasn't the downshift, so you never know if he downshifted too hard or like in the wrong spot, or the gearbox just failed. Because it was going right into like that second chicane. Third chicane.
Yeah. Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Third chicane.
Somewhere.
Yeah. Right before the run to the hairpin, basically. So yeah, that was unfortunate for Mick. And then Kevin Magnussen had a really weird fucking penalty that I did not agree with at all.
Which was?
He got the he had
Meatball.
contact with, was it Lewis?
Yep.
That
Yeah.
damaged-ish his front wing, which basically just kind of
the right end plate.
Yeah, it was just kind of hanging off, but it wasn't like falling off or dragging. It was still attached.
Yes.
And he got the meatball flag to have it replaced. I swear to God, this is the first time in probably close to 30 years the meatball flag has been used in back-to-back races.
Yeah.
Like I've never seen it in all my time watching F1 in one race. So when it came out in Baku, that was a shock. But to see Magnussen get it, like we've seen guys driving around with worse, right?
You can go back to Yuki last race.
Yeah. You can go back to Hamilton finishing on 3 tires. You know what? Maybe you should protest and be like, he should have been black and orange flagged for that. That can't... Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think Magnussen made a comment saying the officials are too easily persuaded by teams. And honestly, he's got a point. Literally going back to last year and all the controversies that happened.
Michael, I sent you an email.
Yeah, they have way too much sway over rules and stuff. I think he should have been allowed to carry on with the thing dangling. I don't think I don't think it's a big safety issue. Ooh, if it falls off, if someone's like, "Oh, it might cause a puncture." Yeah, that's unfortunate. It's called racing. Shit happens.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's debris on the track from, like, a bunch of different things. Right? Like, it doesn't... I don't think... Like, going back and watching that, because, like, I watched the race after we got back, but it didn't, like, it didn't look like much of a safety hazard at all. Like, it wasn't really... It wouldn't have made any like difference really. It's not like he had like half of his wing falling off and he was like dragging and like there was debris flying everywhere. Like it was literally just like the end plate that was hanging on precariously but still like decently attached that it didn't fall off.
Should have just slapped some gaffer tape on it.
But even then, like, I don't understand why that was the make or break. Was that thing dangling? You know what I mean? We've seen cars with like, remember a few races ago? I think it was what was it? Imola, that Fernando had like a whole punch out of his side pod.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
he had like a hole in his car.
Yeah, why isn't that a black and orange flag? He did have to retire eventually, but still, like no one even questioned putting out a flag for that. That was perfectly acceptable for him to drive around.
Yeah, it was a pace thing more than anything else, or save the rest of the parts.
Yeah, so it's fun to see the occasional meatball flag. They should kind of tuck it back in the box and let some dust grow on it. We don't need it that often.
Yeah.
But yeah, in terms of, I guess, overall race now, looking at the championship picture afterwards, do we just give it to Max now?
Sure.
Or does anyone have a chance?
I still think Sergio has a chance.
Why? Why do you say that?
Well, because we can't guarantee, we can't necessarily guarantee that Verstappen is going to continue winning race after race. If he does, then yes, it'll be a runaway. And he'll just be the new Lewis Hamilton of F1 and be winning for like a bunch of years. But I don't think he necessarily has it in the bag yet. I think it's probable that he'll win.
Yeah, he's won
but we'll see.
5 of the last 6.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know, because the first 3 races, it looked like, okay, it's all Ferrari. Red Bull's car keeps breaking down. Last 3 races, all Red Bull. Ferraris are breaking down. So I could easily see a string of races where just Max has bad luck.
Yep.
You know, two bad races, and
it happens all the time.
Yeah. And we're seeing a lot of mechanical failures this year too.
Yeah, and I feel like though that was to be expected just because of the way that with the rule change and everything, like you get it right or you get it wrong, and I think it's a lot of hit or miss the first season after that. So with I'm really not surprised that there are a lot of teams that are having some issues, but I do hope that we see a lot more consistency going forward and they start to figure it out, especially after the summer break. I'm hoping that they kind of figure things out a little bit more engineering wise.
Yeah. And also you have to look at like Red Bull right now. They've brought so many developments in the first 9 races. They've pumped out a bunch. No one else has really done anything. And you're going to see, I think the next race in Silverstone, British Grand Prix, a lot of teams are bringing some of their first big upgrades. So
it's a lot of home races, right?
Yeah.
One way or another.
So is Red Bull going to struggle against other teams now? Because I know Horner's been bitching about, raise the cost cap, do all that, yada yada. Stop fucking spending, you know? We get it. You got your stupid Oracle deal that was like $100 million. Yeah, you can't spend it, but you have it, which is nice for you. But we're not raising the cap. So.
Well, and exactly, and I think Horner's he's just annoyed because there actually is a cap, which makes it a lot more even amongst the field. Like that's why they put it in place, to try and make the field more even and to make the sport a little bit that much more competitive and to bring teams closer together, because it was for a very long time like when you have teams who are just who have so much money from their sponsorship deals or just from being successful from years before, like look at Mercedes, like they dominated the hybrid era for so long.
And they were another team also that just brought upgrades every single race. They always had something new in the car. And you've even seen this year, they're really showing restraint. You know, they will bring a big upgrade package probably in the next race or so. And yeah, you may see Ferrari and Mercedes kind of clawing at Red Bull, if not being equally and on par with them. And then it might just come down to who's better at certain tracks and who's better luck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine you had a Ferrari 1-2, and then a Mercedes 1-2, and then, like, stuff like that with Red Bull being, like, the third best car. All of a sudden, this championship is a whole lot different. So the second half is going to be very interesting in this season, I think.
Yeah, especially if Mercedes actually has taken care of the porpoising issue the way that they said they have. So we'll see, because they brought they said that they brought a whole new floor or something like that to Montreal. So
yeah,
I don't know. Like, it was interesting because I know one of Peter's comments was that you could actually see how bad the porpoising was for the Mercedes car still. Like, I think they're still dealing with it. It might not be necessarily as bad, but and I think they're trying their best to fix that issue. But amongst all the cars, apparently that was the worst one.
Yep. It's a long back straight in Canada. So
did we want to talk about? Do we want to talk about the technical directive thing? Did anyone understand that? Does anyone get the gist of it?
What?
It's just adjusting ride height.
Right? Yeah, the technical directive that came out before the weekend, where they're now gonna say you can't be within a certain window of frequency or movement on the car, and if you are within that, then you're gonna be forced to raise the height of your car so that doesn't happen. Basically, it's all a thing to basically tell teams to either not run the car as aggressive to reduce porpoising.
Right, because the FIA did that whole we're going to try and reduce. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
After the drivers all said.
2 suggestions. Just tell everyone raise ride height. Make it a problem for everyone. Maybe that could have been better.
Yep. Balance across the board.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I do not care any which way for that. Whatever happens with that, it does. I know some guys think it benefits Mercedes. I think some people think it hurts Mercedes. So at this rate, I have no idea where that's going to go. My guess is the cars that already don't porpoise will be unaffected and might be better off, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's, again, it's just one of those things where it's going to be hit or miss.
Yeah.
Either it works for you or it doesn't. That just seems to be all the cars this season.
Anything else we're missing out of this race weekend? In terms of on track or political bullshit, in terms of teams, principals fighting each other? Nothing?
Not that I can remember.
Okay, then I will change gears to next topic, which is the rumors of Piastri is going to go sign with Williams, and Latifi is likely going to be shown the door.
Mm-hmm.
What? Because, we talked about this of Latifi getting the driver of the day votes, which for his probable only home Grand Prix, maybe it would have been nice to give it to him. But at the same time, did he really deserve it? No.
No. And that's why people memed the vote, but
yeah, they when they brought in the driver of the day, they're gonna fuck off all those meme things. I think it was Rio Harihunta when he was in. He got so many votes from I think it was Malaysia where he was from, that it stacked in his favor. So they kind of were okay, yeah, we're gonna kind of monitor who we actually think should get driver of the day. So those meme things will never work.
Yeah.
If you give the fans a chance to troll, they will troll.
They will. Especially F1 fans.
But Piastri do you agree with that? Do you not? What do you think?
We sort of talked about it at the beginning of the year. He deserves an F1 seat. He can't really do much in F2, even if he could go back. So
Yep.
I think it's actually very probable. Just because when we take into account just the politics of F1 and how aggressive some of the team principals can be, and the just like it can just be cutthroat, right? Like if you're not performing, if you're not up to snuff, if they think that they can do better, they will. That's just the nature of F1 and the driver market. So I can really see it happen. I think it's unfortunate because I think Latifi just gets a bad rap. Like it's very hard to drive a car that's consistently at the back of the grid. Like I know that Albon has been a lot more consistent and he's even gotten, up into the points a few times. I think it's just difficult to also adjust to a completely new car. Like this is only his second season in F1? Third season? Okay, so it's his third season in F1 and he only had 2 seasons in a total crap car and now it's one season in exactly and now it's 1 season in a completely new car. It's like totally different. Like we saw the same struggle with Ricardo.
I was looking over the last 2 years of his full seasons and like his qualifying record in Q1 against Russell. Because, that's a pretty good comparison in terms of track conditions, same car. We all know Russell is very quick, right? He off by 0.6, 1.4 seconds, 0.6, 1 second, 0.7, 4 5 2 1 1 second, 2 8 he's all within that kind of he fluctuates, but usually within a second, not really getting blown out of the water too much. I would say honestly, around 0.6 slower than Russell was where he was at, kind of roughly an average, just kind of looking over it and seeing where he did well, where he didn't, some outliers. And then last year, full season F1, you're getting kind of more into the groove. He did a lot better in terms of his pace. He had, again, first race 0.6. Then he was off by 0.16. Then it was 0.4, 0.7. Again, not looking so good there. 1.3 seconds, okay. But then he lost out by 0.02 of a second to Russell. Similar pace then. And then it was 1/10, and it was 2.8. Middle of the season, he was looking pretty good last year. And even a couple times, he actually out-qualified Russell in Q1. And even the final race of the season last year, Latifi out-qualified Russell flat out. No one remembers Latifi out-qualifying Russell in Q1 because he couldn't match it in Q2. But there were times where, he had showed decent pace and it was looking like he was getting better. This year, been blown out by basically 0.9, 1.4 seconds, 1.2 seconds. Closest one was 0.06, I think. That's what you told me, Taylor, in terms of the math. And then 0.3, I think at 0.8, 0.8, 5 tenths, 1.6 seconds. So multiple times he is getting not even close to Albon, but absolutely getting destroyed. And personally, I actually don't think it's anything his fault. I think Albon does have legitimate pace. I think Albon is very good. Better than George? I don't know, maybe. Based on hard to tell on different machinery, right?
Yeah.
But Albon's been doing very well. Latifi clearly has been struggling. And I honestly wonder how much the abuse and the shit he took after the end of last season has affected his psyche. Because he seems genuinely off the pace this year. He doesn't seem confident. He seems just having a terrible time every single weekend. And in terms of Latifi has a history for crashing, right? Or a reputation for crashing.
The champion of walls is what they were saying.
Yeah, you know how many times he's crashed in the last 2 years? Crashed out from a race.
I'm
gonna say 3 times.
4 times.
See, I was gonna go with 4. See, and that's really not that much.
Can you name the tracks in the last 4 the 4 of the last 2 years that he crashed at?
Yes, Marina.
Yep, there's one.
Get the easy one out.
Yep.
Is this just races or?
No, these are just during the race.
Okay, so not qualifying because there was Stroll and him earlier this year. Probably wants to say Austria for some reason.
Nope. All his wrecks have been, except one, was in the Middle East.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He wrecked out of Qatar. Or I don't even know wrecked out. Just retired. I don't know if it was injured or not. It just says retired on Wikipedia. And Saudi Arabia. Crashed in that one. So last year to finish the season, he crashed twice in the last 3 races. Before that, he didn't retire from a single race except the second one when him and Mazepin crashed in, what was it, Imola.
Right.
So he's been to a couple cars in practice or qualifying, but in a race, he can keep it on track. So this whole perception of him being a guy that wrecks, I think is kind of false.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think honestly, I think he just gets a bad rap. I think it sucks for him. As much as I would love to see Latifi continue, I'm trying to think practically, knowing that I do see Piastri in that seat. If not, I know some people have said that they wouldn't be surprised if Piastri's in that seat after the summer break, but I'm hoping that they keep Latifi on for the full season and they don't make a driver swap halfway through, and he can at least finish out. But
I hope he gets to finish the season.
Yeah, I'm really hoping he gets to finish the season. I really doubt that he's gonna be in F1 next year, which is unfortunate, I think, for him. But yeah, I'd be interested to see though where Latifi would go.
I was gonna say one thing about Latifi, though. I was gonna say he is not he's not a naturally gifted driver. I would definitely put him in the realm of smart technical driver, where you don't have the straight speed, but you can figure out how to make the best out of a car and how to make that car go fast. He kind of actually, this is going to be a weird reference, but bear with me for a second. He reminds me a lot of Perez. The reason I say that...
Elaborate.
In terms of their careers. You know, Perez never won any championships growing up. He only won one.
Which was?
It was a regional Formula 3.
Okay.
Yeah. He did 3 seasons in GP2. Latifi did 5. Right? Never won it. Best he ever did was second in his last year before going to F1. Same with Latifi. And, just... Perez has been given that chance to really grow into, I think, a team. His first 2 years were Sauber, who weren't a backmarker team at the time. They were a midfield team. But it kind of allowed him to kind of build into the driver that he is, right? And so many years with Force India. Again, decent midfield performance. You're not doing anything crazy. You're just kind of there. I feel Latifi's kind of been screwed over by always being in the back. You're always in the back. You lose confidence. You don't get better. You always start doubting yourself, doubting the car. So I'm not going to say he is like Perez, but I feel like he has had the potential to become like Perez. But so far how his career has gone has really broken him. And I think it's very obvious this year that he is not the same driver as he even was last year. I think he needs a reset.
And where's that reset going to come, though? Because I don't think it's a F1.
I think he should go to IndyCar. I think he'd be a fan favorite.
Yeah, a little closer to home.
Yeah, kick out Di Francesco at Andretti. You're bringing in the money now, and if you need a paid driver, I'd rather take Latifi than Di Francesco. So I could see that being a move. But yeah, I think Latifi, he has a great personality. He's a great guy. I really love him. I think he needs to step away for F1 for his own sanity.
Yes.
That would help.
And yeah, Piastri deserves to get a seat. So yeah, he can get in. He can get thrown in the blender of the shitstorm of the internet's reactions and everything to F1. Yeah, let him take a couple punches. Latifi, come to IndyCar. Chill out. smoke some weed with Grosjean. I don't know. It's legal in Canada, right? So, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
Problem.
That'd be a hilarious podcast.
Yeah, hey. More of them are getting into it. They got the bus bros now, right?
Yeah, no, true, yeah.
Hinch and Rossi have been on the air for years.
Bring Latifi over to North America. He would thrive, and I think also his online following would also help that series.
Yes.
Bring the goat.
I totally
over.
agree.
Yeah.
Come on, go Tiffy. Come to IndyCar.
Yeah, he could actually do something that Alonso could never do and win the 500 maybe. Who knows? I mean, if Marcus Ericsson did it, why not bring Latifi over, you know? And Rossi, hey, there's a track record of former F1 guys winning it, so just not Alonso. He's not allowed.
Well, he's still not former, is he?
No, I guess not. Yeah, that's true.
That's why.
He has to give up the F1 completely.
He actually has to retire from F1.
So long story short, leave Latifi alone. If you see him, give him hugs and kisses. And no one be mean to him. He doesn't deserve it.
Agreed.
Please don't do that unsolicited on the street. That'd be weird.
No, do it, please. Tell him Steven sent him. Yep.
No.
Yep.
Yes.
So, anything else? Anything else I'm missing from this week? Want to talk about?
Do we want to do Yuri Vips, which just broke today?
If you want to take Steven, I'll let you take that and run with it.
Yeah, you can take the lead, Steven.
F2 has its Kyle Larson moment. Because it was literally the exact same. The only difference is it's not during I guess on the bright side, it wasn't during a NASCAR sanctioned or a series sanctioned event. This was just him fucking around playing, I think it was Call of Duty.
I think it was,
and just drops an N-bomb on stream, and the guys had pretty much the exact same reaction to the guys when we had the whole Kyle Larson incident of, did that actually just happen, and sort of nervous chuckling, and also, what the fuck?
Yep.
Yeah.
And so that video came out today.
Yep.
Red Bull was quick on the ban hammer.
They were very quick.
Of course they were.
To get out. Red Bull Racing has suspended junior driver Yuri Vips from all team duties with immediate effect pending a full investigation into the incident. As an organization, we condemn abuse, any kind of zero tolerance policy to racist language or behavior within our organization. So
he just torpedoed his career.
Yep.
Yep.
So, yeah, we'll see what happens with he's what, 22-year-old Estonian, and see if he follows the same sort of path as Kyle Larson.
Yeah, but Kyle Larson has talent. That's the thing. That's true. You can get away with this stupid shit if you're good. Yuri Vips is still... He hasn't even fucking won a race this year in F2.
Yeah, he's 7th in the championship.
Yeah, absolutely fucking
so he's
stupid. There's no excuse for even doing that anyway.
Baseline, it's horrible. Nobody should be talking like that ever. And it's super disappointing. Like, it's just, there's really no excuse for it, honestly. But you know what? That's what you get. Those are the consequences of your actions, and it seems like sometimes people just don't understand that. Your words do matter, especially when you're on, you're an F2 driver, and, most F2 drivers have their eyes set on F1. There's no way in absolute heck that F1 would ever have somebody like that that's had a past like that.
Yeah, I wonder.
It's just super
what happens
disappointing.
to him if him being suspended by the team means he's out of F2, or is this kind of basically mean just Red Bull's going to just kind of drop him, and he just basically has nowhere to go after this in terms of his career, and will end up probably doing some, I don't know, old man GT series in some fucking place next year or something.
Yeah, that's probably what's going to happen.
I mean, it should happen at this point. Like,
agreed.
Yeah. How old is he, Steven?
21 turning 22.
Yeah, you're way old enough to know that's a stupid fucking idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm really happy Red Bull immediately was like, "Yeah, cut off. You're done."
Yeah, they responded very quickly and good. Like, I'm glad that they did.
So yeah, that's a fun one. Reset the clock since an athlete has had a racial incident. Yeah. Always.
Won't be long till the next one.
Yeah. What did we get to? 3 days? In terms of the whole world? Always fucking something.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Anyway, so before we go, I feel like we should bring back a fun one. Overrated, underrated.
Oh.
Okay, so
what are we doing?
well, I was going to say we're Canadian Grand Prix. Let's do something Canadian themed. So I was gonna go Canadian sports teams. Overrated, underrated, favorite, least favorite, or least favorite, whichever order it is.
Okay.
I'll happily go first if you want.
Sure.
Overrated sports team. We were in Montreal. Gotta go Montreal. Montreal Expos.
Now you're picking a non-existent team.
Yeah, because they're overrated. Because people still love them and like, oh, bring back the Expos. They never won. They could have, maybe. They never did. They had like one good year, and everyone loves the Expos. Overrated as hell. Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Clarify.
Yes.
CFL?
No.
No, MLB.
MLB. It's okay.
Oh.
Yeah. And you know, the most boring sport in America.
Agreed.
It's a good place to have a beer and a chat and watch a sports game, sort of. But if you're there for the sport, you're there for the wrong time. Anyway, anyone else? Overrated sports team?
Don't yuck other people's yum.
I will yuck baseball.
Overrated sports team. The Patriots.
No,
Canadian team.
Shoot, right, I forgot this was a Canadian thing.
That was the whole point. Oh my god, Steven.
Can you guys tell how tired I am? Because I literally just forgot what you had said. Okay, sorry, back up.
Okay. I'm not cutting that, by the way. That's staying in.
That's fine. Again, I had 0 hours of sleep basically all weekend.
Stop partying with Will Buxton, Jesus.
Oh, you know what? Priorities. Overrated. I'm gonna say the Ticats, because I really don't get it. I really don't understand why people love the CFL so much.
Oski wee wee.
It's just honestly, it's annoying. It's just so overrated. They're really not that good. But also the CFL as a whole is not great, so I really don't get the hype.
No, that's fair. Yeah. It's the armpit of Ontario.
It is the armpit of Ontario.
Fuck the Ticats. This is an Argos podcast.
Yes.
Well, no, it's an F1 podcast, but
Argos friendly.
Argos friendly. There
Yes. Steven.
Overrated Toronto Maple Leafs. It's easy.
Fair enough.
Haven't won a championship in over 50 years.
I love
Done.
it. You take a shot at yourself before we get to do it.
Exactly.
I respect that.
You're so ridiculous.
They're sure as hell not underrated. That's for damn sure.
Underrated sports team. What's a good underrated sports team?
Underrated Canadian sports team? Oh, I actually have one.
I feel like Toronto Rock. Maybe. You know, they were lacrosse. They were a very good lacrosse team, and honestly, they were one of the best lacrosse teams for a decade.
Lacrosse is also just an underrated sport in general. Cross-checking is legal, and there's anywhere between 20 and 40 goals a game. So
And lacrosse fights are stupid, where two guys just stand up across from each other and just start throwing each other's face.
Yeah. Hockey fights
the balance.
Are bare knuckle boxing. Yeah, hockey. Yeah, at least there's the balance. It's literally just bare knuckle boxing.
Yes, 100%.
So, which is I need to go back. We should go to a Toronto Rock game.
They're in Hamilton now.
House. Oh, fuck that then.
Yeah.
Who
wants to go live anywhere near Hamilton?
Exactly. Anyway.
Okay. Rude. Rude.
Shots fired. Taylor.
You know what? Okay. Anyway, underrated. I'd say Toronto FC maybe.
Yeah. Okay. That's a good one.
Like they're actually a decent MLS team. And if you're a soccer fan, like it's a really great time to go to an FC game. So, and I think that in terms of the teams that Toronto actually has, I think that they're probably the most underrated. Like I don't think necessarily people understand how good of a time it is to actually like go to one of those games, and they're actually a pretty decent team.
Yeah, they're a good team. Well, maybe not last 2 years, but they've won a
fallen
championship.
off.
Yeah.
But yeah,
they have won a championship.
They
can be exciting.
The fourth watch team in Toronto. They should be higher.
Yeah, agreed. I totally agree.
I'm surprised no one's done a national team yet.
Ooh,
considering it's Canadian. The women's soccer team.
Oh,
constantly forgotten about, but as soon as the Olympics come around, everyone remembers Christine Sinclair, and that's about it. But yeah, just constantly forgotten about until the Olympics or the World Cup comes around.
Fair enough.
Then there's some buzz about it. They've outperformed the men's team year after year. They're constantly in the top 5 for ranking, and even though they got their coach poached by the men's team, they're still pretty good. So
that's fair.
Yep.
That's a good one.
That's fair. Like that. That's a good one.
Least favorite. We'll start with least favorite and then finish off with our favorites. Least favorite, I'm going to go with Saskatchewan Roughriders. Because no matter what fucking sporting event you go, there's some jackass with a green Roughriders jersey somewhere. Happens everywhere you go. You go to the Super Bowl, there's going to be one jackass there with a Roughriders jersey. Nothing necessarily against the team, the fans, everything. Don't like the Roughriders.
Well, I mean, that's the professional sports team.
Get back to the farms.
I think it's not going to be any surprise to anybody what my least favorite Canadian team is. That would be the Montreal Canadiens. I'm a Leafs fan through and through.
Honestly, I can't
and I
blame
really
you.
hate talking to Habs fans because they just have like this arrogance about them, and I'm like, you're literally for so many years you've been the worst team in the league. You got freaking lucky in the playoffs last year because Carey Price decided to have the freaking best playoff of his life. But you know what? I'm just so over their consistent oh, the Habs are so good. Oh, the Habs are so good. Carey Price is the best goalie in the whole league. Stop. I'm so tired of it. They don't have the stats to back this up. It's another it's the fans that make it bad, make them bad.
How many cups? There's your stats.
24, and the last one in Canada.
And sit down, Steven.
But still haven't won in 20 almost.
Again, this is a least favorite thing. It doesn't necessarily have to be backed up by statistics. I'm just saying.
Okay, fine.
Who cares about stats when feelings are all that matter these days?
Exactly.
Fuck the Oilers.
Ooh,
another one where it's not so much the team, it's more no, there's a whole bunch of things. I hate their management team because they can't support the greatest player of our generation and probably the greatest player since Gretzky. Their fans are annoying as shit as well. Their media is fucking stupid. Yeah, fuck the Oilers.
Okay.
Fair.
So I guess we can go for favorite Canadian sports team.
Obviously, the Leafs.
I'll steal from Steven and go national. National's women's hockey team is the best.
Yeah, they're dope. Dope.
Anything else is the wrong answer.
Mary Philippe MVP.
Okay, well, screw you. That is a great answer. They are really awesome.
You're the Leaf fan.
And yes, I am the Leaf fan.
Are you and Steven both
Steven
Leafs?
is also a Leaf fan. However, he betrayed us with his overrated answer, but whatever.
Shit, that team's broken my heart far too many times.
Can't break what's ever
and
there.
you'll still keep going back.
Well, no, yeah. Now you can't kill what's already dead.
Nice.
You can hear the...
That's just sad.
Exactly. That's what you get for what is it now? 27 years of being a Leafs fan.
Well, this is a fun
favorite.
way.
Yep.
That's just depressing, but okay.
Favorite.
You're a BJ fan, let's be honest.
I was gonna say Blue Jays or maybe Raptors right now, but yeah, it's Blue Jays. Blue Jays are doing good. They're the one team that doesn't break my heart. Toronto's a weird dichotomy in the sports world because the Leafs are the money evil empire team in the NHL, and then you look at the Raptors and the Blue Jays, and they're very much the opposite by being the small market teams and the ones that never get the calls their way because America. So yeah, I'll go Blue Jays.
This has been a very, very Canadian podcast.
Screw the Kansas Royals, Kris Kringle looking motherfucker.
Okay, that's aggressive. It's a very niche fucking reference.
It is very niche, but you know what? If you Google it, fuck that guy.
I was gonna say this is a very Canadian centric podcast. We had talking about the Grand Prix, talking about Latifi, talking about Canadian sports, and then at the end, Steven blaming America for problems. So yeah. Exactly. This is, I think, as Canadian as it gets.
Canadian.
And
absolutely.
Yeah. Is there anything else we have to talk about, or should we wrap this up, A? To throw that in there for extra Canadian,
A. I think we're done, A.
Okay. Yeah, the only thing that could have made this more Canadian was Drake showing up at the Canadian Grand Prix or something.
Or all of us taking shots of maple syrup.
Yeah.
Nah, I'll pass on that. But anyway, yes, we are. Thank you for listening to this episode of Spare Parts. Hope you enjoyed this Canadian edition of it. And we'll be back next week. Goodbye.
Hey.
Thanks for listening to Spare Parts. Remember to follow the show on Twitter at sparepartspod and the hosts at Stephen Clary, at Sean Cavarella, and at Tate Moore.